My name is Lauren Coleman here with Monique Robinson. I thought she was going to be in the ham. And Ben Briscoe, who's joining me today.
Not in the ham, actually in the studio. I'm so glad to be here on this Monday because there is so much going on right now in Greensboro, including two big stories that we're on top of right now. Take a look at them right over here. First off, we have Guilford County Schools. Officials will discuss the district's mask policy soon in a matter of hours. Plus, Volvo is bringing more jobs to our area. Both of these developments are creating quite the buzz today. So let's get started with GCS. Right now, all students and staff are required to wear a mask inside Guilford County Schools. But the superintendent has announced she's recommending the board change to mask optional. At 6 o'clock tonight, the school board meets to discuss the district's mask policy. That meeting comes just days after Guilford County commissioners unanimously voted to lift the county-wide mask mandate. And Governor Cooper encouraged schools to drop the mask mandate too. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake is live at school district headquarters where that big meeting kicks off soon.
If that mask mandate is lifted, that means students and staff will have the option to either wear a mask or not. But the debate continues and the question remains, will that mandatory mask mandate stay in place in Guilford County Schools or be lifted? Now, a few days ago, Guilford County commissioners voted to lift the countywide mask mandate. School board chair Dina Hayes said this is one of several reasons why the mask policy may need to be changed. GCS says if the mask optional policy is approved, it will apply to anyone inside school buildings and other school-related settings and go into effect immediately. As far as buses, masks will still be required on GCS and public transportation, and that's because it's a CDC requirement. I talked to some students today who tell me what they will do if the mandate is lifted.
We're gonna be like, yeah, finally they got rid of masks.
I have asthma, so I feel like I would get COVID, and I feel like people should keep them on so they don't get sick and get their family sick.
Now, during tonight's meeting, the district says they will also consider rescinding the mandatory COVID-19 testing for unvaccinated athletes and coaches. Instead, Superintendent Contreras said GCS would offer voluntary weekly pool testing for all students and staff who participate in high-risk extracurricular activities as a mitigation strategy. Now, the virtual special card meeting starts at 6 o'clock, and I was told by the district that depending on tonight's vote, the district says that they may not need to vote on masks every month.
Several other Triad school districts are also revisiting their mask policies. Tonight, Thomasville schools will hold a mask meeting, and tomorrow both Winston-Salem Forsyth and Alamance Burlington schools will do the same thing. Last week, a string of other local school districts also changed their masking rules. Some of them were Davidson County Schools, Wilkes County Schools, and Yadkin County Schools. All of these districts are now mask optional.
The current mask policy shifts are on a par with the recent messages from Governor Roy Cooper. Last week, he said, it's time to take our focus off masks and refocus on improving schools and making them better.
I know it's been so tough on parents and students, and all of them are frustrating. And we all frustrated, and we all want to make sure that we can get back to day-to-day living and normal life as soon as we can.
The option to continue masking in school is a decision GCS parents may soon have to make with their children. Dr. Linda Nicolati is the section head of pediatric psychology and behavioral health at Brenner Children's Hospital. She says while some students may feel relieved about lifting of mask mandates in schools, others may not.
For example, if they have a health issue, are more physically vulnerable, or have family members who are more vulnerable if they do contract the coronavirus, I think there are, those group of kids who might feel more anxious without everybody masking and who feel more protected when there is masking.
Dr. Nicolati says there are several ways parents can talk with their kids about masking changes in schools. First, she says, inform your child about what is happening if they are not yet aware. Second, ask your child how they feel about these possible changes. Third, discuss with them why they want to continue masking or why they may not want to continue masking. Lastly, emphasize the importance of respecting the opinions of their peers if they differ from their own.
Again, parents can help their children be aware of other people's feelings, other people's ideas and reasons why other people may choose to mask or not mask, and just really instill in your children to be respectful, to encourage their friends and other peers to be respectful of other children and their choices.
I think she hit the nail right on the head, that being respectful, whether you're an adult or a student, because you're going to have people on different sides of this thing, and you have to understand people think differently than you.
And a lot of people are so passionate about this topic, either for wearing a mask or against it. It's hard to remember that sometimes you have to take a breath and realize that everyone has their own choice here, especially if they go optional. It actually is their choice, and you should respect their wishes, but make sure you protect yourself if you want to.
And just keep an open mind about this. As we've seen throughout the pandemic, everything has been changing back and forth, back and forth. Not saying it's going to change again, but we just have to keep an open mind that this is uncharted territory.
And it definitely is something that I think is going to change again, too. They've already said that they could bring some of these mask policies back if it goes back up, if our numbers don't keep declining. So we need to do what we can to make sure that we knock out COVID as much as we can too.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. It's definitely going to be the talk of the town for the next few days. Well, we're going to turn to another second top story this afternoon. There's a new business venture budding in the Triad. Automaker Volvo is making its global headquarters to Greensboro. The move is set to bring 360 colleagues and more than 200 jobs to the area. Right now, the company runs 2 different facilities in Greensboro, one on National Service Road and another Piedmont Triad Parkway. Officials expect the building to be open next year. Coming up at 4:30, we'll hear from Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn about what this move could mean for the future of economic investments. Looking ahead, the state Supreme Court is expected to weigh in on a new set of North Carolina congressional maps this week. The court majority struck down the old maps, calling them unconstitutional gerrymanders. State lawmakers submitted new redistricting plans last week. These maps are important because they determine who represents you in state and federal government. We're expecting a decision from the court by Wednesday. All right, Monique, kind of nice if you want to take a walk today. Maybe you need a light jacket, right?
Yeah. Happy Monday to everyone out there. Greensboro has been filled with off and on clouds throughout the day. Those temperatures, though, very warm. 63 is the current temperature in Greensboro. We're getting these winds out of the west-southwest, winds out of the west, or even the southwest particularly. Those winds really help to make for warmer temperatures, and that's what we're feeling today. And more is in store for tomorrow. A lot of folks joke on social media, especially about that tease of spring. Well, that's what we're feeling for the start of this week. So this is a look at the Futurecast, what we can expect to see when we talk about clouds and rain across our area, and even a look at those temperatures staying very warm overnight. We're barely going to get out of the upper 40s, low 50s overnight going into your Tuesday. That cloud cover sticking around, and then by the afternoon, we're way into those upper 60s. I know you saw that 70 pop up on there. Light showers possible throughout the day. And then as we go through your Wednesday, the rain, kind of heavy at times, moves through in the early part of your Wednesday. The clouds, though, sticking around, so warm and cloudy for certain. I can tell you that for your Tuesday and your Wednesday. Rain off and on at times, especially in the morning for your Tuesday and Wednesday. But the next big game changer we talk about weather is the wind. On my next weather hit, I'll tell you all about it. It could get gusty at times to start out this week.
Happy President's Day to you, a day in which we honor those who occupied the highest office in the United States. Presidents are faced with multiple decisions that oftentimes test their ability to lead. While you and I, we are certainly not president facing those huge decisions like that, daily life does present its share of challenges, and we all need a little bit of leadership in us. Right now, Blanca Cobb is here to help us with that. She has got a master's degree in psychology, and she joins us with how to maximize your leadership skills. Blanca, why do we all need to be leaders?
Everyone needs to be a leader. Look, you don't have to have a managerial position, but if you think about if you're a parent, right, you're going to have to guide your children. You're part of a group. There's going to be some times that you're going to be guiding people, but it's all these, the skills of leaders are so important for people. For example, a great leader is one who's passionate and listens and compromises. They take actions. They know when to take calculated risks. They make decisions. They know how to delegate. And great leaders have values like integrity and respect and gratitude. all skills that all of us need to have.
You know, I know you also talk about body language. It's so funny. Whenever you come into the station, you are so obviously a leader because everyone pays attention to you. You're just standing upright. You're speaking with confidence. What are other things we can do to project leadership?
One is not showing fear. Look, it's okay to be scared because we're not going to know all the answer all the time. But if you have confidence in your ability or your ability to figure it out, then you want to project that certainty. And so what this means is that you're going to look somebody in their eye as you're talking. You might move in a little closer to give them reassurance at times when there is uncertainty. Those types of body language, and like what you're talking about earlier, having your head up, your shoulders back, and your voice. You want to project confidence and strength through your voice. Look, you can totally undercut yourself if your voice is shaky.
What do you do if you don't have that leadership title, but you still want people to respect you?
Great question. And a lot of us will not have a leadership title, nor will we aspire to have a leadership title. However, to be a leader, it's all in how you have people skills and how you relate to people and how you influence other people to do the right thing. So look, just because you may not have the position or the title, you have that position at home, whether it's with your partner, or whether it's your family, or if you have aging parents. There are ways that you're going to have to be coordinating what care and responsibilities to make sure that your children are taken care of when you're not around. Those are all types of leadership roles within your family.
What do you think is the number one most misunderstood thing about leadership?
That you boss people around. Being a leader is nothing about bossing. It is about guiding. It's about helping people really reach their potential. And in a way where you're bringing people together. That's a leader because you're really understanding people, what makes people tick, what holds people back, and finding ways to overcome all of those obstacles and bring out the strengths in people.
Well, thank you for inspiring us like you always do when you come on. So many good things to practice. I think the listening to people and respecting the people you want to follow you are the most important there.
Absolutely.
You can continue the conversation with Blanca on her Facebook page, Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert. Hey, by the way, if you send her other stuff you want to know about, she is really good about responding. So go in there and check it out. Two prominent black voices in the civil rights movement shared the same desire for equal rights, but two very different ideas on how to achieve it.
Today marks 57 years since Malcolm X's death. He was killed just 3 years before Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Both men were ministers and both were assassinated. WFMY News 2's Tracy McCain spoke with a communications expert about their impact and how, if alive, what their message would be today.
They would teach for us to know ourselves and know the system. They would teach us how to speak more eloquently and often to the powers that be, and they would teach us to collaborate. And within the presentation, I break down how leaders today can actually do those things to move any agenda forward that they have. It's not just about race, it's not just about economics, but it's about a lot of different things that we all want to do within our own communities and organizations.
Odell Bazell's presentation talks about the similarities and differences in the two leaders' approach, and he uses those things to inspire future generations to press forward.
We have more power, more reach potential than Dr. King and Malcolm X ever could as far as numbers go. It's just we have to use it more to empower and less to entertain. That's the biggest takeaway.
Well, Bazell is continuing this conversation with free online discussions during Black History Month. You can find that information on WFMYnews2.com.
Wow, I think these discussions that he's having is a great tool to take advantage of. That's why I think it's so important to stay educated, read and educate yourself, because a lot of these philosophies with Dr. King and Malcolm X can be applied to today. And even they, were inspired by other leaders like Gandhi and different things like that with how they handled challenges during their time period.
Yeah, certainly. I think when he mentioned the idea that we have such a bigger reach today, especially with social media, it gives you a really great opportunity to use your platform as a space to educate others.
Absolutely.
I think, and you could expand to some people across the country you don't even know about. And I think that that's the one fascinating thing about today, that with social media can really be helpful to push agendas and messages.
And knowing the importance of our voices, like they said, because Dr. King was someone who used diplomacy, he was someone who spoke with his voice, and same with Malcolm X as well. And as young people, we do have access to the social media and different things, and people do want to hear our voices, and it's important.
And it's also important, I think, for everyone to speak up when they see an injustice. That is definitely something you learn from both of those men, the power of speaking up.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of times, oftentimes when you hear Dr. Martin Luther King and you think Malcolm X, you kind of like own in on Black history. But like he mentioned in that video, whatever injustice you may engage in, you can expand that to use some of their philosophy in any other area of life.
Absolutely. Can't wait to hear more about these discussions. We'll be right back.
Hello, Burlington. It's windy over there. Our sky cam capturing these flags just waving there. Temperatures now 65 degrees. Current winds across the air a little bit breezier in some places as compared to others. 13-mile-per-hour sustained winds in Greensboro. But everyone is going to be talking about how windy it is tomorrow and continuing to talk about it on Wednesday. Let's take a look. These are the Futurecast looking at the wind gusts across our area. Upwards of nearly 30 miles per hour, maybe even greater than that for your Tuesday afternoon. Those winds stay gusty overnight going into your Wednesday. Don't really quiet down much. You can see this is still talking around 3 a.m. Wind gusts out of the south and west around 30 miles per hour. By the afternoon on Wednesday, that's when they take a bit of a decline. And then as we look to the 7-day, we're seeing more rain chances and more warm temperatures. I mentioned we're going to be feeling those tomorrow again on Wednesday. And look at that, Friday, 67 degrees.
Throughout the month, Coach Lamont has shared messages of Black trailblazers shaping American history. In today's U-Day moment, he honors the first Black president, Barack Obama, with a quote on the importance of change.
President Barack Obama once said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. You are the answer to the questions which are lingering in the world today. You are the solution created for such a time as this. And who you are and what you are carrying within you, it is so necessary. Now is not the time to sit back and wait for someone else to step up and do what you are fully capable of doing. I believe that the problems that exist in this world today are connected to people who are silent, carrying the answers they refuse to provide. Arise, my friend, and step into your place. You're needed." This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey Facebook friends, I have a problem here and I need your help.
What's the problem?
Lauren Coleman does not like cauliflower rice.
Yes, I just can't get into it, guys.
She thinks that it is bland and gross, and I'm trying to help her fix it. So I'm curious what you guys do at home. My trick is a whole lot of Lowry seasoning.
Okay.
Like, the more you can dump on it, the saltier you make that stuff, the better.
And I've also tried like the chicken broth option. It just wasn't enough. So I'm gonna try the Lowry season this time. I did buy, like I was telling you, this Mexican inspired cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's and fried rice inspired cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's. So we'll see how that goes.
What other healthy alternatives do you really love? Because cauliflower rice is my good go-to.
Sweet potato fries.
Are those that healthy?
It depends on like what brand you get. Like, what is it, the Alexia brand or something? You just spray that with some olive oil, put it in the air fryer. That is good. No, but for real alternatives like noodles and things like that, like they have sweet potato noodles, they have lentil noodles and things like that if you're trying to cut back on, you know, the more flour-based.
What about you guys at home? What do you like to do for health food? I need some new recipes. I know Lauren does too. We're always looking for stuff. And you guys always seem to have the best ideas, so let us know.
Another thing I want to try is brownies, but it has like an avocado base to it.
Why would you mess up brownies? No.
Okay, so you asked me what I like for
Okay, but here's what I don't understand. If you're gonna do brownies anyway, why would you go healthy?
But say like if you are trying to change your lifestyle.
Then give up brownies.
Okay, if it's a birthday party or something, you're gonna eat cake. But say if you have a sweet, because we are human, there are healthier alternatives. Like I like to eat almond flour muffins. They taste just as good as the regular muffin, but it's lower in carbs.
Yeah.
So there are different like alternatives. But we gotta go Facebook, so we'll see you during the next break. Bye.
Thanks for your tips, Bobby. I don't know about you. You don't like it either. Right now, trending across social media, a Texas mother is thanking a group of Starbucks baristas that looked out for her daughter. She says the employees left a message on the daughter's cup after they noticed a man harassing her. The message read, "Are you okay? Do you want us to intervene? If you do, take the lid off the cup."
She was sitting at her table alone studying, and this man came by and noticed what she was studying and wanted to talk to her about it. He, I think, just kind of became really animated and kind of loud about it. And she said that the next thing she knew, a Starbucks employee handed her a cup and said, somebody left this drink behind, it's a hot chocolate.
When they looked up, she realized that all the employees were staring at her. She signaled to the employees that she was okay, but the man noticed and left her alone. Now, when she got home, she posted a picture of the cup on Facebook. That post has since gone viral. It has more than 7,000 shares. You know, I loved that we talked with the mom because I didn't know that they actually made up a reason to bring her the cup.
Yes.
I thought it was like on her drink that she ordered. That's even better.
Yeah, and it just is about being attentive and like watching the surroundings. I had a similar story kind of happen to me when I was in college. So it was New Year's Eve and I was at the club in DC. Yes, I had some clubbing days. And there was someone that the people working there could tell I wasn't wanting their company. So one of the bottle server girls came over to me like she was gonna give me a flower and whispered in my ear, "Are you okay? Do we need to remove this person?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." But they're probably trained in some way to react in certain situations when they see like a customer is uncomfortable.
And not only a customer, I mean, you can think of so many times when people have done this for people they don't know just out in public. And it's so important. It's one of those kindness things we can do for each
absolutely.
other. Just check in if something doesn't seem right.
What would you do in that situation? We want to hear about it on Facebook.
I'm getting there. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie.
Happy Monday and welcome back to the 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman and now we have Monique Robinson in our background and we have Ben Briscoe joining
Monique
us.
the mime, did you see those moves? I need like the tightrope one.
Well, you can pull me. Let's try. Wait.
Okay, hold on. Come this way. Oh, other way.
Oh, wait. Okay, backwards.
There you go. Okay, we're going to practice that when there's least important things to do, because right now we got some big stories to talk about in the Triad.
Lots of big stories. We're going to start with continuing coverage on one of our top stories, the latest economic expansion in the Triad.
Volvo is expanding its footprint in Greensboro. Today, Volvo announced plans to move its global headquarters to our city.
The move is set to bring 360 colleagues and more than 200 jobs to the area. Right now, the company runs 2 different facilities in Greensboro, one on National Service Road and another on Piedmont Triad Parkway.
Officials expect the building to be open next year. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn is excited about what this move could mean for future investments.
To have a worldwide global company like Volvo and Mack right here in our campus, Greensboro and High Point, that really makes people take a look and say, wow, if they like this area so much, if they're willing to invest another $41 million, what should we be investing? So I want to say thank you so much for this wonderful announcement.
This is huge, folks. Volvo's announcement comes on the heels of 2 other big economic announcements in the Triad. Toyota is building its first North American battery-making plant at the Greensboro Randolph megasite. Boone Supersonic is building its flagship factory for high-speed passenger jets on the grounds of PTI Airport. The companies will create thousands of jobs over the next several years.
You know, I'm so excited about this because I think all these companies are finally realizing what we have known for so long. Greensboro, the Triad, it is a great place to live.
Great place to live, and I think this is going to really impact our colleges and communities here. A lot of the schools here are probably going to be partnering with these companies, so it's going to be a great way for students to transition into the workforce. And I think it's just bringing a sense of pride to Greensboro. You know, you hear about Raleigh, you hear about Charlotte, but Greensboro is really on the map with
internationally
all these.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also think this really shows how once you get a company here and they realize how good it is here, then they're going to invest more, because Volvo already had some people here and now they're bringing their whole global headquarters here. That's big.
And it's just going to impact everything. I mean, from the housing market and on and on. People are going to want to come to Greensboro.
They are, and there's plenty of reasons to be here too.
All right, we're going to head over to our next top story, possible mask change policies in the Triad's largest school district. Right now, students and staff are required to wear a mask inside Guilford County Schools, but that could soon change. Superintendent Sharon Contreras is recommending the board vote to go mask optional. At 6 tonight, board members will hold a meeting to discuss the matter. The meeting comes just days after Guilford County commissioners unanimously voted to lift the county's mask mandate, and Governor Cooper encouraged schools to drop mask mandates. We will stay on top of this story throughout the evening, and we'll let you know what the board decides both on air and online, so stick with us.
This comes as COVID hospitalizations at the state level are making some big improvements. Today, the state is reporting 2,296 COVID hospitalizations. It's 341 patients fewer than this time last week, the last time we shared these numbers. The state has been a great ride lately, going on these downward streaks, since it set a record high of 5,200 patients on January 26th. The state has seen a decrease every single one of those days since. That's 25 consecutive days of declines. Now, today's number is now the 3rd lowest day on the entire graph, which goes back for 7 weeks.
Hunger is a real problem across the Triad, with many people often referring to it as the silent crisis because it's an issue you can't usually see. A 2021 study found food insecurity tripled across the United States during the COVID-19 pandemic.
And Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina increased spending to make up for that extra hunger by more than $3 million to keep food on the tables for their communities. Food Bank CEO Eric Aff says the organization typically spends around $400,000 before the pandemic. Well, that number jumped to $4 million in 2020. To help support their efforts, we are partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank to collect food and money through a virtual fundraiser and food drive. It is part of our February 22nd or 2/22/22 celebration. WFMY News 2 is also giving away $220 gift cards to celebrate you on Tuesday. Hey, you can donate online right now, anytime over the next 2 days, or you can drop off food from noon until 2 tomorrow at Friendly Center Harris Teeter, and we really hope to see you there.
I'm so glad that we're doing this. I think we can never do enough to give back, especially when it comes to hunger, something that has gotten progressively worse.
I mean, living life is expensive and eating is something that we need. And so when you put the two and two together, it's like there must be a lot of people that are experiencing this issue. And if you do have the means to help, then just help.
It is something that's always very close to my heart because I've had a lot of friends who've been there. I've been there. My first job, I remember I was making so little. I used to go get a McDouble and eat 1 patty for lunch and 1 patty for dinner. And I know that is still more than some people in the Triad have now.
And we've talked about, like you said, you had a regular, stable job.
Yeah.
And we've talked about people who are teachers, who are first responders that have been homeless or struggling to get food because of all that's happened within the last couple of years.
There are so many people that need help, and here is an easy way to do it from your couch right now, or we'll see you out at Friendly Center tomorrow from 12 to 2.
So
I'll be
Monique,
there.
How's the weather going to be out there?
Oh, well, it's gonna be cloudy. Good thing is you can pop in and pop out, donate your food donations, and then head on back home, but certainly still encouraging folks to get out there. The temperatures, though, are gonna be warm. Y'all, take a look at this. I know you see it. -7 degrees in Bismarck. Luckily enough, here in the Triad, we are in the 60s and forecasting more 60s for you tomorrow. Current temperature in Greensboro is 63, 65 at Burlington, 64 in High Point. We're all kind of in the 60s down to the south of us, a little bit warmer than here. As this warm front lifts, we're going to see more rain chances possible across the area, but more clouds than anything. It's going to be a cloudy Tuesday, light rain moving in, and then again on Wednesday, a chance of rain early in the day, but staying mostly cloudy. And then this system is going to take its cross around our area, that cold front crossing our area Wednesday, and then making for a cloudy day continuing through your Thursday and more possible rain chances as an area of low pressure rise up. But take notice at these temperatures, it's not going to feel like -7, but 7D on Wednesday, and it's going to be staying warm over the next couple of days thereafter. Thursday does take a dip, 54, but I mean, not too shabby because we warm back up to 67 on Friday. This is certainly a weather tease, though, because as you look to the weekend, temperatures fall once again to some very chilly numbers. 46 is what I'm forecasting for the high on Sunday, 45 there on Monday. So although we are warm for the first half of the week, the rest of the 7-day features below average temperatures. We should be around the mid-50s for this time of year, 55 exactly, but you can see Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are all below that. So we're talking colder temperatures for next week, warm temperatures this week.
Hey, it's President's Day, and usually that means 2 things for folks. All right, number 1, it means, closed for President's Day. That's right, banks, government offices, the post office, all closed. And then number 2, there are sales, all kinds of sales on President's Day. The idea is, of course, that President's Day honors all presidents, or so we think, but really, it's just come to be known or acknowledged as President's Day, but there's a technicality, and it's really only Washington's birthday.
Wait, I thought all along it was like split between Washington and Lincoln's birthday, and it was like the 2 of them.
Yeah,
There's
it
more to
started
this
that
story?
way. It started that way. It sure did.
And this modern day President's Day, it went into effect in 1971. So for 50 years, people have been saying President's Day thinking it was all presidents.
Right, and I think most everybody thinks that, and they're like, yes, this is what it is. But I gotta tell you, truth is stranger than fiction, isn't it? 2 Wants to Know gives you the backstory on President's Day.
The father of our country celebrated his birthday February 22nd. And in 1879, his birthday became a federal holiday. But something changed in 1968. Why?
I cannot tell a lie.
Me neither. It changed for convenience. Congress lumped Presidents Washington and Lincoln's birthdays together and passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, making annual observances of certain legal public holidays on Mondays, allowing federal workers to sail into a 3-day weekend. And while the name President's Day was proposed in 1951, the official name was never changed. So George Washington, #1 in our wallets, and the only president who can claim it's their day.
It's one of those weird things that is how it still stands.
You know, the crazy thing, I'm kind of a presidential buff, and it would drive him insane knowing he's the only one it's for, because he believed that we should celebrate all of our leaders, not just him. He didn't want to be a king, and that's why he didn't keep running.
Interesting.
Good point. Well, I did not know this, and Tanya, you always teach me something new whenever you come on the 4 to 5.
There's always little tidbits,
yes.
right? Little tidbits of things to know and to dazzle your friends with at the next party that you're at. I don't know. Maybe not.
If you're talking about President's Day.
Maybe you'll win Jeopardy with this one.
There you go.
We'll be right back.
You want me to roll for you, Mo? You want me to roll for you, Monique? Oh, hey, friends. We are back. Mo, you're about to talk about vacations, I see?
Oh, you guys can hear me. Oh.
Hey, yeah, Facebook can hear you now.
I didn't know if I was part of the party.
You're always part of the party because the party does not start until Monique gets here.
I'm here for it. I'm kind of talking about vacation for Black History Month, talking about where blacks could stay in Greensboro.
Oh, the Green Book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see this one.
But I wanted to talk about that food conversation y'all were having earlier. Sweet potato fries are my jam.
Yes.
I love sweet potato fries.
So which one of y'all are going to let me come to your house and try them?
I haven't made sweet potato fries before, but they don't taste as good. I think they taste better purchased at a restaurant. I'm not good.
If you have an air fryer, they taste good at home too.
Yeah.
Just spray a
Anything
little.
tastes good in an air fryer.
It really does. A little bit of olive oil on there, put it in the air fryer. It's nice and crispy.
I took a sweet potato and sliced it fine, and tossed it in oil, and then I put it in the oven, and then I brushed it with brown sugar on top.
How was that?
Well, goodbye healthy.
Well, I mean, I thought it was good-ish, but I've had it at restaurants taste so much better.
Everything at restaurants is gonna, even when you make a smoothie at home, it's not gonna taste like going to Tropical Smoothie or Smoothie King.
True.
So.
But nothing tastes as good as your wallet saving money.
Yeah, exactly. That
is
too.
also
And it's
true.
always healthier at home too.
That is true.
I have tried to make sweet potato chips in the oven. It's like a hit or miss. You can either not cook them enough or you can burn up. I burned up 3 racks of. We gotta go. Bye, Facebook.
Going on vacation and need a place to stay, you pull out your phone and Google has a quick solution. But 70 years ago, you could count only on one hand how many places blacks could stay in Greensboro. One site still stands thanks to one local woman. The house that soul built. James Brown, the godfather of soul, and Gladys Knight, the goddess of soul. Their roots here in Greensboro, but why? The Magnolia House. Let's check it out.
When we talk about Black history and we talk about the demands and the pressures that was associated with, the Jim Crow era, it was important to have these places where, such as our guests were able to just, what I call just be.
Natalie Pass Miller owns the historic Magnolia House off Corral Street in downtown Greensboro. She took ownership from her father in 2018.
So when the Green Book movie came out, I got an email with a page of the Green Book and Magnolia House in it. Before then, had no clue.
The 2018 Academy Award-winning movie revealed a truth about her own history that made Natalie Pass Miller say goodbye to healthcare IT forever.
That was the day that the house had its voice and spoke to me.
So they would take that book and look, what's in Greensboro?
Greensboro History Museum education curator Rodney Dawson says the house was more than just a safe space for Black musicians.
Bennett College, North Carolina A&T, Winston-Salem State, they graduated students. And when you graduated, I'm sure mom and dad wanted to come see you. My mom and dad wanted to come see me when I graduated, but where would they stay? They couldn't go to the Hilton or wherever was around the Holiday Inn. They had to find these Green Book sites.
Dawson says there was a lot visitors considered before coming into town.
I got to have enough gas and enough food to make it to the Magnolia House. And I got to prearrange, or hope that they got a room for me.
Pass Miller renovated the home and now uses it as an events venue, restaurant, and bed and breakfast. While checking out, Stephen Wright and Teresa Martin highly recommend the stay.
I guess it's something that's in the neighborhood that I've passed by all the time, and then I just didn't know about it. So it was really cool to be able to come by and see it and imagine how it existed in the past.
So just for a little bit of context, between Atlanta, Georgia, and Richmond, this was one of the only prominent hotels that African Americans could stay at upon traveling. So that's a long stretch. Atlanta to Richmond is the only place they could stop.
And I'm so glad the hotel's having a long stretch of a successful business and history, and that she's really renovating it and making it a special place again today.
Yeah, it's beautiful when you walk inside, and it smells. Oh, I gotta go back
the
there
food.
for food.
You were just telling me about the brunches on Sundays.
So good in there. I'm like, I have to go back and try some of that food.
That's one of the places I've been wanting to check out since I've been here, because a lot of greats have stayed there. I believe like James Brown is someone that stayed there, like a lot of big stars.
Yeah, definitely. I think even that whole corridor in downtown Greensboro, there's actually a lot of other businesses that have a long history in the African American community that I'm just excited to explore more of and learn about since being here.
I appreciate you bringing all this to our attention, and I hope that if you guys at home know more, please let us know so we can feature it also.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll be right back.
All right, so I want to give you one more chance to look at the Futurecast of what you can expect over the next couple of hours for this 4 p.m. hour. Clouds building across our area to end out our Monday. Some light showers for the early part of your Tuesday, maybe getting a little bit of break of sunshine, but it's really going to be a mostly cloudy day with light showers throughout the day, and then continuing with the clouds through your Tuesday evening, going into your Wednesday. You could see this line stretching. That's a cold front. That cold front bringing in more rain, heavy at times possible there for your Wednesday. So you can see the rain chances kind of stay in tune for your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We get a break from the rain on Saturday. But we haven't seen rain in quite a while, so I think a lot of folks are kind of excited and looking forward to at least getting some light drizzle. But as you can see through Saturday, when we talk about how much rain we're expecting, it's really not that much. So when I say light rain, it is light rain because although we'll be seeing rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, although we'll be seeing rain for 4 days, we're talking light rain because these accumulation totals are still roughly around a half of inch to maybe even an inch of rainfall. Don't hold tight to these numbers, though. We could see a little bit less than that in some areas, a little bit more than that in other areas, but overall kind of sticking between a half of inch to an inch of rainfall between the 4 days of the forecast. So that 7-day, give you another chance to look at it before this 4 p.m. hour ends. Temperatures warmer Tuesday and Wednesday. I mentioned earlier in the newscast windy conditions, which will persist through your Tuesday and Wednesday with wind gusts upwards of nearly 35 miles per hour.
Check this out. Here's something you don't see every day. An Israeli farmer made a very large discovery, get it? Growing the world's heaviest strawberry with a 13-inch circumference.
How long did it take you to think of
Take a look. You know, I'm a magician.
Right
it just came off the top of my head. So scientists say unusually cold weather slowed the strawberry's ripening process, allowing it to continue gaining weight. That thing is massive.
The cold weather has allowed me to continue gaining weight also. I would just like to blame it on that from now on.
Yeah, let's blame the weather for our weight gain. So I asked you on Facebook, what would you make with a 10-pound strawberry? A lot of you all answered, and Von says, cut it in small slices and chunks for lemonade, slushes, daiquiris, salad, or strawberry cake. Ed Wellborn says several strawberry cobblers. Joe Nappy says some strawberry parfaits. Loris Waters, a homemade strawberry pound cake. Amber Lake says a strawberry cake all the way. And then Greg Taylor said right now a strawberry margarita. And there was a lot of people who said margaritas and daiquiris.
Just look at the difference between that thing and the regular strawberry. It's huge.
Yeah.
I wonder how sweet it is.
Mondo strawberry.
It looks really dark, and I always hear it's sweeter if it's dark, right?
What would you all make with a 10-pound strawberry?
They have a strawberry farm over near Wilmington when I previously used to work, and I used to go out and pick strawberries and pick blueberries and stuff like that. It's really, really beautiful, and those strawberries were amazing.
I like to just eat strawberries by themselves.
Just by themselves?
You don't need to make anything. Strawberries are God's treat.
They're good, and with a little bit of like powdered sugar on them, even better.
I never did that before.
Yeah, try it out. It's good. I said that I would probably make like a frozen lemonade, strawberry lemonade. I think that would be so refreshing.
Would you like make lemonade, then you just put the strawberries in it? Like, how do you make?
You know how you make like the slushes, like say like the frozen lemonades at Chick-fil-A, but this one would be strawberry.
So when life
lemonade.
gives you a giant strawberry,
make
you
lemonade.
make lemonade.
Absolutely.
Life lessons from Lauren Coleman right here.
We'll be right back. Thursday from 3 until 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this is just one of
Hi, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado.
What do you think it was? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. GC.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check here in.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today we're talking about when dad's in control and mom is out of town. So my wife went on a business trip, and her last words to me, I kid you not, were just keep them alive, because she knows that the choices that I'll make may not be the best, but we do have a good time. The kids love it. They cheer when they find out she's going on a business trip, which makes her even more worried. She's usually doing this a lot. So I'll give you a rundown. You know, in our future, once she left, were lots of restaurants. Yes, there were iPads allowed at the table at the restaurant, and I'm trusting all of you at home not to tell her this. There were poor food choices. There was a plethora of fries and hot dogs and wings and hamburgers. I didn't mind that too much myself, by the way. And lots of playtime. In fact, we even had a daddy-daughter dance that Drew and I went to, so all is not lost. And people, let me just say, I did buy from the grocery store the plastic container of pre-cut fruit, grapes, blueberries, pineapples, melon, strawberries, and they grazed on that like little cattle for a few days as well. So all is not lost. It was not all greasy fast food. We did have our share of fast food, but there was a little bit of fruit in there. So if any of you see my wife, tell them, just say, hey, he fed him fruit, and leave everything else out, okay? She comes home very soon. Thank goodness. That's just my 2 cents. If I'm still here in the next few days, I'll do another my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
In less than 1 hour, the Guilford County Board of Education will meet to say yes or no to keeping masks in schools.
Superintendent Dr. Sharon Contreras is recommending they move to make masks optional. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake talked to parents tonight who have mixed feelings.
Mask required or masks optional. The GCS parents that I talked to today fall on both